And after you leave a like, remember to smash the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel as yet. And remember to hit the notification bell so every time I post a video, you can know right away. Subscribe, 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 subscribe. What's up, my YouTube friends, viewers, subscribers, everybody? Welcome back to another banger motivational video. And the topic for today is self-evolution. So when I say self-evolution is evolve of oneself, which means you're growing, you're changing, you're learning. Because to me, I think life is a learning process, and it doesn't really matter like your age. I think your age really don't matter. A lot of people think whenever they have a birthday or their age go up, they're actually growing. But in reality, what makes us mature is the mindset that we have, the mentality that we have. Because you can be the same age as somebody else, but they're not as mature as you. So self-evolution, you're growing, you're changing, you're learning, you're developing. That's the definition of evolution, meaning you're getting better and better every day. So whatever it is that you're doing, the more you keep doing it, the better you will get. If you notice that you're sitting down like in the same spot, that's because you're not doing anything. If you're sitting down in the same spot, how can you expect to move forward? You can't learn anything. Like every day we learn something. And I think that's what life really is about, learning stuff about yourself every day and learning stuff about others and learning stuff about, say, basically everything, learning how we think, how we carry ourselves. Like every day there's something new to learn. And doesn't really matter what age you are, how smart you think you are, all that stuff doesn't matter. What matters is the mentality that you have. So in order for you to evolve, you have to, say, have a skill, have a career, doing something with yourself. If you're not doing anything with yourself, you can't expect to grow, because that's evolution, growing. So if you're in any career or doing anything with your life, if you notice that the more you do something, the more you learn, the more you're changing. That's evolution. That's how you know you're getting better, and that's how you know you're growing, because you're actually doing something with yourself. So if you're not, say, growing, then you're doing something wrong or you're in the wrong area. Because like I always said in all my motivational videos, if you watch them, if you love something, your brain will automatically figure out how to move forward. I always say that, and it's true. Once you figure out who you are and what you're good at, it's easy for you to grow. Easy. You don't have to worry about, oh, I can't figure it out now. If you can't figure it out today, maybe tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then maybe next week. And that's what evolution is. So if you say you have a skill, notice all the players that play sports. Notice they do that their whole life, or most of their life, I should say. That's why they're extremely good at it. Anything a person is doing, whether photography, whether editing stuff, whatever it is, every time you do it, you get better. So the apps upgrade, you learn new features, you learn new stuff. That's the same thing with, say, apps, like I've just said. When the app upgrade, that's evolution for the app, meaning it's getting better. So you have to develop some learning techniques. Like you can't say, oh, I know it all. Like not everybody know everything. And evolution is about growing and changing and developing new skills for yourself, because like doesn't really matter, say, what you can do now, because it's always something better that you can learn next week, next month, next year. And like I've said, if you're not evolving, let me tell you something. Your age will eventually go up. As long as you're alive, as long as you're waking up every morning, your age will eventually go up. But that doesn't mean you're evolving. That doesn't mean you're growing. Because how we grow is our mentality. You have to be learning new stuff. The most powerful people are the ones with knowledge. The one that has, like, say, great skills. All those soccer players that play for the World Cup, all those basketball players that play, like, that's evolution. You get better and better and better. I'm not saying you have to be, say, extremely talented or extremely gifted. No, because like I've always said, we're driven by different things. So in order for you to evolve oneself is you have to pick something that you love, something that you're interested in, and then you can learn as you go. Because it may be difficult now, but if you're interested, like I've said, you will eventually figure it out. So you have to come up with goals for yourself. I've always say this, and most of the motivational videos that I make always pertaining to oneself, because like there are different aspects pertaining to ourselves. So evolution, If you're not setting goals for yourself, you can't evolve because you're aiming for nothing. If you're aimless, you can't learn new stuff because there's nothing you're trying to say learn in order to reach the next step. And ever since I was younger, I've always have this one saying that I watch in Dragon Ball Z. I think couple like long time ago. This was way before Vegeta became a Super Saiyan, if you know Dragon Ball Z. And he said one line that stuck with me my whole life. And that was when he said, you have to rise for the challenge. I think that was the Android saga before he became a Super Saiyan. And when I watched that line, you have to rise to meet the new challenge, that stuck with me up till this day. Trust me, bro. Like, anime literally teaches, like when you watch anime and you're younger, when you grow up, you understand more. You have to rise to meet the new challenge. Now that I grew up, that's exactly what I'm doing every day. You have to rise. You don't know what challenge you're facing the next day, but you have to rise. You have to keep growing. So when you have those challenges, you can manage to push through. That's why when a lot of people have problems or something, they can't push through because they're not on that level as yet. So with that being said, is you have to be aiming for something. That's the only way you can evolve. And I've always said this. It doesn't really matter how much money you have or how much house and car you have. If you're aimless, that's a waste of everybody's time. You have to be aiming for something in order to evolve. So that means you're getting smarter, you're getting stronger, you're getting faster. Notice when you're in the gym, even if you're not there to gain muscle, big muscle like me, you're just there to be fit. That means you keep up your expectation of your strength, your speed, and if you're trying to look attractive. Because most people, especially women, go to the gym just to look attractive. And for a woman, that's what you will call evolving for her. Like even for guys, so like if you go to the gym and you keep up your shape and you keep yourself active, that's you actually evolving because every time you're in the gym, you gain more strength. Especially if you're the type to gain weight easily. So you have to be in the gym in order to look a certain way. That's evolving. That's you aiming for something. So that's all evolution is about. You have to be developing new skills every day and know how to learn and be quiet. Because like some people don't want to learn anything and some people refuse to listen. Let me tell you something. A good listener is a good learner. Because when you listen, you hear a lot of stuff of what's going on around you. A lot of people are fully unaware of what's happening because guess what? They expect when they're saying something, they want somebody to listen, correct? So if you're saying something or you're explaining something, you can't listen while you're explaining. This is why when two people are arguing back and forth, they're yelling because they don't feel like they're being heard. So you have to learn how to listen. You can't be aimless. You have to be aiming for something. The best thing is set a big goal and make small goals to get there. Because if you don't have no goals, then what exactly are you aiming for? You can't grow if there's nothing for you to aim for. So with that being said, is in order for you to be smarter, you probably have to read every day. You probably have to do different stuff every day. But with that being said, you don't have to go to the library every day in order to be smart. Well, some people enjoy reading, which is completely fine. Some people enjoy a movie, which is also completely fine. But some people use their time, like me, invest all their time in what they're aiming for. Because let me tell you something. If you're aiming to become something, and you're in the right area and you're interested, you will literally learn new stuff every day. And the more you do it, like I've said, the better you will get. That's growth. That's you actually growing because you're learning. If you're not learning anything, then you're really not growing, basically. If you say went through high school for 5 years and say you didn't learn anything throughout high school, your age jumped 5 times, but did you actually grow? No, because you didn't learn anything. So with that being said, is like I've always said, you have to figure out who you are. All of my motivational videos that I make pertaining to oneself always starts from who you are. And if you do not know who you are, then you can't figure out what skills you got. You can't figure out which area you need to be in because you need to know all this stuff about you in order to evolve. And if you can't say, bring yourself to do stuff. Like if you're not confident, if you don't got self-confident, then it also makes no sense. So with that being said, you have to know who you are. You have to know. So like I've said, set goals for yourself. Do not watch what nobody's doing. Do not watch what nobody's saying. Nobody is gonna care until you have arrived. And if you're at the bottom, people that are evolving, growing, changing, developing, they do not use their time to compare or compete with others. Because, bro, let me tell you something. I don't know if you know by now, but I want you to listen to this. You see, competition happens for people that are below, people that are just starting. They compete and they compare with others. People that are, because you have the bottom, then you got people rising, then you got the top. So when you're in the middle of rising, you're not going to waste your time compete with those at the bottom. Because everyone at the bottom is competing with each other. That's why they can't move forward. And if it's your energy why people are say want to do something like you, then by the time they can't feel your energy, then they won't be the same. Do not use your time. And people that are evolving know this. So if you still are at that stage where you think you're competing with somebody else and you have to compare yourself to see how good you are, then you're not evolving. Because people that are evolving do not waste your time comparing nor competing with nobody. Because guess what? They understand who they are. They know their own ability and they're fully aware of the goals they're setting. So why compete with someone that's aimless, if you understand what I'm saying? So with that being said, is you have to look forward instead of looking behind you. There's no finishing line behind you. So why would you waste your time competing with someone that's like say not doing nothing? If you think I'm wrong or if you think I'm lying, look at all those people that are comparing themselves with each other. Where exactly are they besides competing with each other? As soon as one person get a job and the other one get a job, then they start competing who have this and who have that. People that really got it and evolving, they're growing and they know exactly what their purpose is in life. Do you really see them comparing themselves with somebody else? And sad to say this, but age does not make you mature. Because you can have somebody older than you that's also competing with you. Because guess what? If you have a, say, divine mentality, which means you're not, say, there physically, but you possess the ability mentally in order to think for yourself and you know exactly who you are, but maybe you can't figure it out how to start. But you have the mindset of, say, being creative. You're going to have people that's like 5 years older than you, 7 years older than you, that envy you. And sometimes they even have more than you, but they envy you because of the mentality that you have. So with that being said, is they might be older than you, but mentally they're not. Because let me tell you something. Some people have to start from the bottom. They didn't inherit nothing. They don't have nobody teaching them nothing. They don't have nobody showing them nothing. They have to start from scratch, from zero. And then when you start from zero, your process may take longer because you have to figure it out as you go. I was about to say how you go, but as you go, same for me. So with that being said, is that's just how it is. You got some people that they have everybody to show them everything and hold their hands and walk them through the park. But you got some other people that's inherited nothing. Like me. You say you want to become a YouTuber. Like I said, I wanted to become a YouTuber. I am not, say, around a lot of people that wanted to become a YouTuber when I first started. So I didn't have nobody to tell me how I need to monetize my YouTube channel or, like basic stuff that you want to know. So with that being said, is they will envy you even though they're older than you. So I want you to understand this. Age does not make someone mature. It doesn't really matter if they're 30, 40, 50, 20. All that stuff doesn't matter. What matters is the mentality that you have. If you ever notice that people have more than you, but they envy you. They envy you because of the mentality you have, because they know the potential that you got, and they know the moment you figure out how to move forward, you're gonna leave them in the dust. That's why most times people try to keep you down. They don't want you to evolve because they know. And sometimes I feel like that's just how it is. Because when you're younger, like especially working in a job or doing something, if you ever notice, some people try to always keep you down. They're always trying to tell you, oh, you can't do this, you can't make it happen. But if you're a strong mind, you will be able to pull through. If you're stubborn and you refuse to listen to others, you're like that for a reason. Trust me. Because you got a boss mentality. So, evolution, if you can't evolve, do not use your time to listen to people that's telling you, oh, you can't do this or you can't do that. My advice to you, whatever it is you like doing, you need to find those people that like say doing it in order for you to learn from them or be a part of whatever they're doing. Because if you like it and you're interested in it, then you will eventually figure out how to move forward. That's just how it is. That's growth. If you're not growing, that's because somebody else is like say in your way, stopping you from moving forward. And trust me, people really do that. You got some people that when they look at you, they know the potential you got and they know the damage that you will do once you figure it out. So in order for them to say not have that happen, they do it. They try to keep you down. That's why if you notice, most times when you say you want to, you always tell your friends, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. They know the type of person that you are. That's why they always tell you, oh, don't waste your time doing that. And blah, 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 and blah, 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 this and blah, 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 blah. They're telling you that for a reason. Because let me tell you something. The moment you get serious with your life, all those things that were distracting you, whether friends, family, doesn't really matter what it is. Everything that's not meant to be a part of whatever you're aiming for, you will eventually lose it because they will fall off. Because guess what? If you want to become wise, you have to be around wise people. And I think there's a saying like that in the Bible. If you hang with fools, your life will crumble to pieces. So which means is wherever you are determines your outcome. So whatever environment that you're in determines your outcome, because I think your surroundings have a lot to do with mostly what you're capable of, especially if you're not, say, strong mind. Because if you want to do something and you have everybody in your surroundings, in your environment saying, oh no, all these negative stuff, can you truly evolve? No. So you have to create a space for yourself in order for you to move forward and not feel drained. That's why mostly when people live in some neighborhood, they want to move out of the neighborhood because it's their surrounding. You can't become some stuff or you can't be great if you're not in that state of mind, because your environment really can bring out the best in you. You have to, whatever environment that you're in, you have to create the space for yourself in whatever it is that you're doing in order for you to grow. That's why, say, people live in, say, the hood or ghetto for how many years, and when they have kids, they want to move out because they don't want their kids to grow up and, say, have that mentality. Because wherever you live, you have the mentality. You have to be extremely strong mind. So with that being said, that's evolution, growing and changing. And you have to know when to detect negative and BS, garbage, nonsense. You have to know, because if you follow the wrong people, if you listen to the wrong voice, you will lose everything you worked so hard to get. What's the point of working for 5 years trying to become something and then you will lose it like that because you listen to somebody else? People that are unhappy want everybody else to be unhappy. So in order for you to evolve as a human being, sometimes it's better for you to isolate yourself, because the more, if you notice, the more intelligence you have, the less friends you have, the more damage you can do, and the more stuff you can make happen, the more, like, the less people you'll have around you. Sorry, because like people with knowledge know, they choose who they want to be around with. So with that being said, is you have to know what people you need to put yourself around. It's better you stay alone and figure out what you need to figure out instead of putting yourself around a bunch of different random people and then all of a sudden you're going to fall off. Because not everyone is going to be happy for you. That's why a lot of people are not evolving. If you notice, there's more people at the bottom than at the top. Some is in the middle. I would say maybe 50% chance people are in the middle. Like they start, then they fall off, boom, right back to the bottom. Then they start again, boom, right back to the bottom. If you notice, because they can't figure it out, because it's not meant for them. So if you're in the wrong area, it's going to be close to impossible for you to be able to move forward. So you have to figure out what it is that you need to do in order to move forward. You have to be aiming for something. If you're aimless, like I said, then you can't evolve, you can't learn anything, you can't grow because there's nothing for you to aim for. How do you expect to develop your vocabulary, your intelligence, if you never exercise it? Whatever it is that you're good at, you need to exercise it. Some people always say, oh, I'm good at this, so I don't need to do it. But there's somebody out there that's had the same ability as you, that's like better than you because they exercise it. So whatever talent and skills that you have to exercise it in order to be better. Because if let me tell you something. If you're gifted, if you're naturally gifted with something, I recommend you use it. It could be skills, talents, or natural intelligence, whatever it is, because we're all driven in different ways, like I've said. But whatever it is that you're gifted by, you need to be in that area where you can evolve. If you're not moving forward, if you ever feel like you're stuck in a box, that's because you're not doing anything. You're not learning anything because you're doing absolutely nothing. And life is a learning process. We learn new stuff every day because no matter how smart you are, there's still something you don't know. So with that being said, like if you're extremely smart, you focus in the area that you know. That's why you seem smart. But if you're around some other stuff that you know nothing about, are you really smart? No. But problem solving. Also, I just remember this. You have to develop that skills of solving problems. Like if you can figure stuff out, then you will that will always be a win-win. You know why? Because no matter where you are or what you're doing or whatever area that you're in, or it doesn't really matter, whatever is going on, if you have a problem solving technique that you know how to break stuff down and think about stuff and come up with a solution for a problem, you will always win. Some people are born with that gift, but not everybody have it because not everybody can figure stuff out on their own or fix things, or not everybody's gifted like that. So if you're a person that you want to become something, you have to be in that area. That's the only way you can evolve as a human being. That's self-evolution. You growing and changing. Do not think just because your birthday came last month or last year or a couple months ago and your age is going up, you're actually growing. No, your age is going up, but you're not growing. You're not evolving as a human being because what exactly did you know now that last year you didn't know it? If you can't look back at yourself a couple years ago and say, oh, a couple years ago I didn't know this, but now I know this, or I wasn't doing this, but now I'm doing this, or I couldn't figure this out, but now I know this. That's evolution. That's growth. So if you can't look back at yourself and see that you're better in your current situation, did you really grow? Think about it. Look deep within yourself and think back and see, because if you really pay attention to yourself closely, you can see that you evolve or not. Because for people that are growing every day, they're in the state of mind of looking forward. And I'm like that. I rarely look at whatever it is that I have accomplished. When I sit down with somebody and I talk about, say, what I've done and what I've achieved and all this kind of stuff, then just sitting down talking about it makes me see that I've done lots. But I don't really focus on what I've done. I'm focusing on what's to come. That's how it is. I always use my time looking forward to what's next. As soon as I hit this mark, boom, what's next? Always like that. So when you're in that state of mind, you won't have time to look back to say, oh, I achieved this, or I did this, or I did that. No, you won't have time. And that's growth because you need to be searching for something. You need to be aiming after something. You need to be wanting something out of life. Like, what is your purpose? You don't know. Then how will you evolve if you don't know what you should be doing? If you do not know what skills you got or whatever talent it is that you have, then how will you evolve? How will you create the environment and the state of mind in order to evolve? If you do not know who you are, how will you know what you should be doing? And let me tell you something. A lot of those people that have no idea of who they are, they're the ones that are at the bottom. And they're still trying to figure out who they are and what they should be doing. But guess what? All that time that they're spent trying to figure out what they're doing and comparing with others, their age is still going up. That's why most times they end up getting older and still competing. People that compete with others are always nowhere. A person that say are unemployed, the moment they get a job and they're in that job say 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, they start comparing themselves with everybody that got a job. They're not going to compare themselves with someone that don't got a job, because it's human nature to compare yourself with something that's say bigger than you. A guy that's say doing track and field, he's going to compare himself to somebody that's faster than him, to the fastest man in the world, Usain Bolt. Someone that's like a basketball player, they're not going to compare themselves to someone that's say a beginner. They're going to compare themselves with Michael Jordan. That's just how it is. People, like, it's human nature. If you buy a car right now, I don't care about the brand, I don't care about the model, I don't care about the interior, whatever car that you buy right now, you're not going to compare it. Like, it's 2023. If you buy a 2023 car right now, you're not going to compare it to 2022. No. But guess what? When 2024 model come out, then you're going to look at that model. Then you're going to compare it to the one that you have. That's human nature. We compare ourselves with things that we fully aware of it's better than us. That's just how it is. So people that are at the bottom, that's why they compare and that's why they compete. Because they're looking for a driving force to say, oh, that person is doing this, I'm doing this. Oh, that person is doing that. Oh, I'm doing that. That's comparison. But people that are evolving every day, they do not waste their time to compete with others. And that's how you can spot a person that's like at the bottom. Doesn't really matter. A person can be 30 and you may sit down and think, oh, I'm 20 or I'm 19 and I have to listen to that. No, you don't. That doesn't mean because they're older, they're wiser. Because, like, I think life, like I've said, is a learning cycle. So the older you get, the smarter you should be. So if your age keep going up and you still don't know nothing, did you really evolve as a human being? So you live your whole life, but you didn't evolve. If you understand what I'm saying. That's why if you're naturally gifted with something, I recommend you put yourself around people that's doing the same thing or positive side of people. Because if you put yourself around the wrong set of people, they will eventually make you lose everything. And people with nothing will eventually let you lose everything that you work so hard to get. That's self-evolution. So if you notice, like I've said, in order to spot someone that's at the bottom, they're always competing, they're always comparing. That's how you can spot them. A lot of people, they don't know this, but I'm telling you right now. So if you didn't know, that's how you know when someone's at the bottom. If someone is not, say, competing with someone or comparing themselves with others, that's because they're above that level. And not because they don't have some accessories physically, meaning they will never have it. Because if they had the mindset, then they can make it happen. Because your mindset is how you view the world. You may not have, say, a lot of stuff now because you're busy figuring out as you go. But once you figure it out, you'll be eventually you'll be better than those that are older than you. That's just how it is. So, like I've said, you don't have, you can talk to someone and just how they speak, how they carry themselves, how they, like, their choices of words, you can detect automatically that this person is not, say, developed mentally. That's how you can know, because you can speak to them. Like, if you talk to someone, like, it's human nature to, the moment you start talking with someone, first thing we, like, we say what we know, what we like, and those kind of stuff. Then, Loki compare, like, if you put two kids that's, like, say, that same age, they compete with each other. Which one is faster, which one is stronger, which one no more words. Like, that's human nature, because that's kids. But when you grow, you shouldn't be comparing yourself with others. No billionaire is going to compare himself with a millionaire. That's just how it is. That's self-evolution, always aiming for something. So if you didn't know all of this before you saw this video, you know now. Do not use your time comparing with others. If you're comparing yourself to somebody else and you're still at the bottom, because comparison happens at the bottom. people that are collaborating are at the top. The only way you see two people at the top beefing, that's because they're on the same level. Or something happened, that's why they're beefing. But mostly people that's at the top collaborating. Business owners at the top are collaborating. Rappers that are at the top are collaborating. So why is everybody at the bottom killing each other and trying to drag each other down? And you have to be mentally strong in order to say, leave the bottom and start pushing forward. And then you have to know when to detect all those negative nonsense. Know what type of people you need to be around. Because if you're around the wrong people, that also affect your growth and you can't evolve. And your age is still going up. You notice I keep saying that? Because a lot of people think, oh, at this age, so I'm mature. No, sorry to say this, but your age is going up, but you're not mature. That's just how it is. That's self-evolution. So I hope this message was useful for some of you guys. Remember, like your environment and whatever you put yourself around determines your growth. You have to be extremely strong mind. So if you're not, say, strong mind and you're easily influenced, it's going to be hard for you to evolve because you need validation from everybody else. And if you listen to the wrong voice, you will lose every time. So I hope this message was useful for some of you guys. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned. I will be back doing more stuff. You go enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out. And don't forget to follow me on social media. I post daily on them.